was asked about what happened with Skip Bayless, to my surprise, Cris Carter just goes absolutely ballistic on Skip, even to the point where he was like, there came a moment where he told him, I'm going to punch you in your effing face if you disrespect me again. So for those of you who didn't hear what Cris Carter had to say about his former colleague at FS1, Skip Bayless, we want to play it for you now. I want you guys to listen to every second of it because it is pure entertainment. And I'm going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Cris Carter here.
So Skip Bayless is leaving his Undisputed Deal. I've never watched the show. I've watched clips when it was him and he was doing his thing with Shan. I've watched a lot of it. I didn't take to it. Plenty of people did, obviously. He's been on TV for a long time. I didn't take to it because it was the screechy. I don't like it. It's like I've argued with people that like scream at me like they're in 6th grade, and it's a lot for me. So it's not that he didn't play. That doesn't his opinions, his strong opinion. It's the screaming that like it sends because it's screechy.
A lot of people.
What's that?
A lot of people, that type of communication,
Yeah.
the debate world.
Yeah.
And that's only been popular like the last
well
10, 12 years. That's it. 10 years.
Like Stephen A has his opinions. He's not screeching. He's making his points. He speaks well. He's funny. It doesn't look like he completely loses control of his emotionality. And when people lose control of their emotionality, I'm like, dude, I'm out. I'm gone. That's just how I feel. Okay. For whatever that's worth, who cares? But he's leaving. And then ESPN said they're not doing anything with him, I guess.
Why would they?
Well, what's your opinion?
They just signed Shannon to an extension.
Correct.
Like, so this is how ESPN does stuff. Okay, Shannon, we know you're a commodity. Come over here. This is something new. We believe you guys could have some chemistry. Stephen A had already told us, he'd like to add you to the show in some capacity. Let's do this partial deal.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple days a week. Let's date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
That's commitment enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to date you only. You're going to
getting
date
married,
me
let's
only.
date.
No, we're going to date. We're going to have a good time. And Shannon overwhelmed them with his success and his following. Because Shannon comes with the following.
He's just blowing up.
So Stephen A gets along with most every athlete. Like, so it was just a matter of who was going to be the right athlete to be in there with Stephen A going back and forth in conversations, because that's really the height of the show, to have someone who you respect, because that's the thing. A number of years ago, I was on a show with Stephen A and Skip Bayless. And
both of them?
Yeah, both of them on their show.
Yeah.
I was working at ESPN doing NFL. I would do Mike Greenberg after doing my NFL stuff. And then I would come on there because Stephen A and I were friends. I didn't know Skip personally. And I'm going to be honest with you. Skip Bayless is not one of my favorite people.
I can imagine.
Okay. So I'm on there doing the show. I do the show and everything. And then all of a sudden, this is when the Tebow phenomenon was going on. And he was a huge Tim Tebow guy. This guy is this.
I remember it. Dude.
Okay.
Oh.
So I come on there on a Monday, and, we're trading barbs and everything. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I just level set it and was like, listen, if throwing the football is important in the NFL, Tim Tebow will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yep. So
he got defensive, and then he came back and said, well, that's why you didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay.
So what'd you say?
Which got nothing to do with nothing.
Agreed.
We went to commercial break.
So you didn't say nothing before commercial. He just said his...
No.
Okay. Good man.
I took my earpiece out, and I told him, I'll never be on your show again.
Yeah.
And if you ever say anything like that to me again, I'll punch you right in the face.
Good for you. That's why I like you. What did he say?
He couldn't say anything because I got up. I'm off the set. Then the producers came. Hey, Cris, no, it's not necessary. Then the people came from the back. Stephen A was like, Cris, man, this is not. I was like, bro, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing. I'll never be on another show. I won't be on this show ever again as long as he's on here.
Correct.
So then come 3 or 4 years later, he goes to Fox. I leave ESPN. The guy that was directing the show was hiring the people at Fox.
Okay.
So he's like, man, I know, man, y'all had a dust up. Do you have any problem with him? I said, I don't have no problem with him.
No.
I don't have no problem with him at all.
Me, I'm good.
No. Well, we talked to him. He doesn't have a problem with you. Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he have a problem with me? So I had very little interaction with him when I went to Fox, but I knew that it's like playing in a card game that the deck is tricked up.
So you heard what Cris Carter had to say about Skip Bayless. What are my thoughts on this? And I want to take my time with this particular one. Based on what he said, it seems to me that Skip is someone that annoyed a lot of people in the business. That's the first thing. The other thing I've noticed is that some people are not fans of this embrace debate style of sports coverage that Skip Bayless and people like Stephen A. Smith popularized. Cris Carter isn't the only one. I've even heard Marcellus Wiley say that he's not a fan, or he was never a fan, that he likes to have he would say he's a conversationalist. He doesn't like to be hollering and screaming back and forth with the person across the desk, right? He believes that there's a more civilized way of covering sports. That's what Marcellus Wiley has said on many occasions. And it seems to me that a lot of people were not a fan of it. That's number one. Number two, I also get the sense that some of these people truly questioned whether or not Skip Bayless was sincere about the majority of his positions, because I guess some of them were wondering, is Skip only saying these things, number one, for shock value, and number two, for the sake of us going back and forth? So